like they're lining up.
Well, they're excited.
What's up, guys? We're the Sons of Mjolnir. We're back again. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Gorgon.
I'm Fat Thor.
And I'm Cap.
So, Thor, tell me what we're talking about today. I'm sure everybody who's listening or watching right now is seeing it all over Twitter and everywhere else. But let's kick this off. Lead us in, brother.
Yes. So today we decided we had to come onto a call. This wasn't even a scheduled episode for us, but with the recent announcement of Deadpool 3 and Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine, we had to come on a call. We had to come on and talk about this and kind of nerd out about this. It's the topic of discussion in the nerd realms. So let's get right into it. I mean, like I said, Deadpool 3, we've known it's been coming for a while. It's been confirmed for a long time. And we just kind of got a little bit of news and confirmed that Hugh Jackman is returning as Wolverine for Deadpool 3. So, let's just kick it off. What do you guys think about that? Are you excited about it? A little nervous about it? What do you guys think?
I'm excited. I'm a sucker for nostalgia. I'm not gonna lie. I am excited, but at the same time, I'm very curious as to how it's going to work. I know they said it's going to be a separate thing from Logan and that universe, but I'm intrigued to see how it happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
definitely. What about you, Gorgon?
I mean, kind of same things. I think the biggest issue, and I'm sure we'll get into this in a minute when we talk about the Fox movies, is broken timelines, right?
Yeah.
Mangold's trilogy allegedly exists separately and standalone, different from the Fox movies, right? It's like there's the Fox movies, which we won't even call it a timeline, as broken and disaster as that is, right? We'll just call it the Fox movies. We have the Mangold trilogy, which is its own separate localized unit.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to have Deadpool doing what, if it's what we all assume it is, it's going to be Deadpool kills, the Foxverse or the Sony. And I'm here for that, right? That'd be super cool. So Logan wouldn't be a worry because it's still its own thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's its own little pocket universe. It's self-contained. It's its own story. He's just going to be tidying up the other house.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it. I'm nervous. I still want Daphne Keane to somehow end up being Laura Kinney for the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
I think she did amazing. I'm really looking forward to that. But Hugh Jackman whipping out the claws one more time, I can't be mad, man. I'm absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, how can you really be mad about it? I agree with both you guys with what both you guys are saying. And I mean, I'm just excited. I guess you could say I'm a little, like you said, the timeline stuff. I mean, the Foxverse is just ridiculous with the timeline. So in my mind, I'm not even worried about any of that. I'm just of the mindset, I don't care how it's happening, kind of like with Toby and Andrew. I don't care how it's happening. I'm just happy it's happening. You know what I mean? And as far as Logan goes, which I guess we should mention too, they, along with the announcement of Deadpool 3, they also released a short kind of video, quote unquote, explaining things for Deadpool 3. And it didn't really explain anything. I urge everyone to go check it out. It's really funny. But the one thing that they did confirm is Logan is its own thing. That happens in 2029. And in Ryan Reynolds' own words said, we're not touching that. So the way I think about it is I think it's very similar to how Old Man Logan plays out in the books. And in the books, Old Man Logan, that's a future kind of story. It's kind of self-contained in its own kind of thing. I mean, there's plenty of X-Men books after and before Old Man Logan, and no one was like, oh, well, wait, he died. You know what I mean? So in my mind, it's kind of the same logic. Logan still happens. That's still his future, his ultimate end. But here we're just going to kind of get a little side action, you know what I mean? But like I said, it doesn't take anything away from what his eventual end will be. Like I said, that's my 2 cents about it.
But
I guess they could probably work at a prequel to Logan, just before he murders all the X-Men. He falls into some other universe, blah blah blah.
I mean,
and then it still goes on, and Logan still happens,
Yeah, I mean, it's the multiverse, baby. Anything is possible. You know what I mean? It's at the end of the day, these are very minor nitpicks of like, oh, well, actually, how would this actually happen? It's like, bruh, Wolvie's coming back. We're getting him and Deadpool. Let's take it. Let's go. I'm excited. And to Gorgon's point too, I would say I would be very surprised if we did not get Laura Kinney by either the end of this movie or set up. I really think that she is going to be our main Wolverine, like in the MCU. And I do not see Hugh Jackman doing more than this one. Like, I mean, if you would have asked me 2 years ago if he would have done another one, I probably would have said no. So, I mean, who knows?
I would have said no even 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly.
3 weeks ago, right?
Yes.
This changes a lot.
Exactly. So, like I said, I don't want to say for sure, but I really think this is going to be kind of almost, John Krasinski, Reed Richards moment. We're giving the fans what they want. Give us that thing that we've been begging for, but it's not going to be, forever. It's just going to be that, we're getting a little present. You know what I mean? We're getting a little present before we get into the actual like X-Men shit, MCU mutants and all that.
That the mutants are here.
I know. I'm talking solo mutant projects though.
We have 2 of them now, if I remember correct, or 3 in She-Hulk popping up.
Yes, we just got some more in She-Hulk. Yes.
Spoiler. I'm not up to date.
Okay, stop talking right now. So that's a perfect segue to move on. So speaking of,
that was close.
That was close.
Exactly. So let's move on though. We're talking about all this X-Men stuff. So I want to get your guys' opinion and or kind of relationship with the Foxverse. Because I know for me personally, those movies came out. I was like, I want to say like 4 or 5, maybe even a little young. Like I was young when those movies came out. And like that hit right in, peak of my superhero exposure. You know what I mean? And I think
it made me feel so unbelievably old.
Like I said, I want to say to be fair, I probably was more like 5, I want to say. Because it was definitely before I was in first grade. That's for sure.
I remember when the first one came out. I know I was young, but I don't think I was that young. Maybe I was. I mean, I turned 31 this year.
Yeah, you're not that much older.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. So those movies were, I think, for a lot of people who weren't comic readers, they were foundational in getting people into, hey, superheroes, hey, comic books, hey, mutants, they're cool, right? I think they did a really good job of that. Now, how we feel about them years later after growing up and reading comics, I think is very different than how it was for a lot of us watching them as kids for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Or at least for me, right? As a kid, you're just like, wow, this is crazy. All this is going on. This timeline doesn't make sense. Okay. Ignore timeline, throw it out the window and just let it be a disaster. Are they still decent movies? Sure. But
I'll say they're trash, bro. I'll go out there and say they're trash. I love them like for a nostalgic point, but like I'm not gonna say they're good movies. You know what I mean?
You can go through my Twitter and you can type my handle and type Singerverse and you can keep talking shit about them all day long. I think my biggest issues that I have with them after growing up and reading comics is how the hell are you gonna direct a comic book movie and then order your actors playing those roles to not read comic books about the characters, right? Like for a lot of y'all who don't know, who are listening or watching, one of Feige's first jobs with Marvel was working in this with Bryan Singer on the X-Men movies. And because of that, he would sneak comics in brown paper bags to all the cast to make sure they got comic books of the characters they were reading for them to read as material, since Bryan Singer was such a douchebag on set and just not a good human being. Feige was the GOAT in that regard. 100%.
Which is just another one of the reasons why we call him Papa Feige over here. And a lot of people, don't know that. And like you said, he was on the ground floor when these X-Men movies were coming out, and he was the one being like, yo, man, you need to check out this story. Like, hey, you need to check out this comic. And it's like, Hugh Jackman's performance as Wolverine that everyone loves so much, like Feige was there for that. And I think that kind of leads into all this, how we're saying, oh, we're so surprised that he's coming back. I think the major reason for that is, our Lord and Savior, Papa Feige. Him and Hugh Jackman have a really good relationship with each other. And I think that on top of Patrick Stewart also coming back in Multiverse of Madness, I think both those things combined Hugh was like, okay, like, let's go. The time is right. The pacing is right. Like, this is the time to do this. And I think that kind of early relationship is what paved the way for us to be here today, really.
Thanks.
Yeah. But other than that,
I
though,
agree.
like I said, the Foxverse, it's a nostalgic thing for me. I, loved them as a kid, and not only did I love them, but X-Men, I know I'm the Thor guy these days, but when I was a kid, X-Men was like, that was my thing. Like, I want to say it's hard to remember for me, honestly, because I've loved superheroes and stuff for so long, but I really want to say X-Men was like the property that brought me into the comic world, like as far as like the cartoon went. When I like did have comic books as a little kid, I feel like they were X-Men, like that was what was readily available everywhere. So yeah, like I have a deep love for the X-Men, and like I said, I'll be the first to admit they're trash movies, but I love them. Like same way with like Batman and Robin. Like I'm not gonna come on here and say like, oh, Batman and Robin is a misunderstood masterpiece, but I like it. It came out when I was a kid. I watched it and loved it as a kid. So yeah, it's a shit movie, but I enjoy it.
I really enjoy all the X-Men films. I'm not gonna lie. X-Men Last Stand, that's something else. But I don't really. I didn't enjoy that. But see, the first two X-Men films, unbelievable in my opinion.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed them. Now that being said, I haven't watched it in a good few years, so it might change a wee bit.
Say go
But
back.
yeah, from memory, if memory serves me right, I really enjoy them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, they're fun. Like when I say they're trash movies, I don't want I know people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, like how can you say that?" I'm just saying, like, I guess compared to like superhero movies we have now, and like having actual character focused stories, and like we were just talking about, like not being afraid to call itself a superhero movie, and like we were just talking about the whole thing with Singer and not allowing the comic books. So like I say, when I say trash, I just mean like if you put it up against superhero movies today, I can't say like, oh my god, this is amazing, but again, it's fun. You got the X-Men, you get Wolverine, Cyclops. As a nerd, you can't be too upset about that, right?
I think for me, the Fox movies had some of the best castings for some of the characters,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time, some of the worst misuse of characters.
Agreed.
Right, like the internet constantly talks, about what happened to Darwin, right?
Oh my god.
I come on, man.
Honestly,
The
don't even
first
want to
chance
talk about it just because it's such a like literally every week you get another. Y'all
every week
remember?
there's
Y'all
another
remember how
tweet.
they did Darwin?
But it's true, right?
It
They
is
did
true. It
Darwin
is
horrible. They did
absolutely.
a lot of stuff horrible, but I feel like every movie has at least one or two scenes that are super redeeming and that they truly understood the character,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, in that same movie, right, when all of the missiles come and Magneto stops them, right,
Dude,
and he's like, they
sick.
were just following orders, and I've been at the mercy of men just following orders, never again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bro,
Dude,
I
Fassbender
Well,
as Magneto, like you said, while you can say what you
best
want about those
castings ever.
movies, but they really nailed some of those castings. Like you said,
yeah,
Fassbender and oh, why is his name Gandalf, dude? McClellan,
Ian
right?
McClellan.
Yes,
Yeah,
bro, and him as as old Magneto, freaking perfect. And obviously Patrick Stewart as Professor X. That's legendary.
And I even like James McAvoy as a young one.
Yeah, I
He
didn't
was as
hate him.
problematic as I feel like as Professor X really is as a
Mm-hmm.
person, right?
Yeah.
It was nice to see someone embody that while young. I enjoyed seeing that it took a toll on him in his
Mm-hmm.
youth, how problematic he was as a person. It's a shame he didn't grow up, from learning that about himself and be better as he
Yeah.
aged. But whatever.
Yeah, no, I liked him. I liked him as a young Xavier too. I thought he was really good, and like you said, kind of showed more of the problematic side of Xavier. You know, I think for a lot of people, especially people who don't read the books, they think of Xavier as kind of like this always good
Messiah.
guy. Yeah, like Messiah of
Yeah.
mutants, you know what I mean? Like the father of mutants and all this stuff, which is true, but you know what I mean? He's got some problem, kind of like Reed Richards too. You know, a lot of people like I think, you know, they kind of both have these kind of weird not weird, but darker kind of paths and, you know, sides of them that a lot of people don't realize.
I'm not going to lie, I despise Reed Richards.
Reed
Thank you.
Richards hate fan club over here.
I'm over here trying to suppress my hatred of Reed Richards and of Xavier right now.
I
As
guess
characters in the comics.
I
Right?
guess I'm indifferent on Reed, but hey, if you guys hate him, I'll jump on the hate wagon with y'all.
I don't fully hate our current 616 Reed Richards, but I absolutely don't trust him. There's only one Reed Richards I trust, and that is the crazy Reed Richards. How dare you? From the Beyond universe, right? The old man, crazy, couple buckets of screws loose ones that Donny Cates gave us.
I like that one too.
I would slaughter armies for that man. But any other Reed Richards, absolutely not. Don't trust it all as far as I can throw him.
Oh my god, yeah, that's definitely my favorite version of Reed as well. But talking about these Fox movies, before we move on, I think we can all agree, though, that we can all agree that Dark Phoenix was for sure the best, right? I'm sorry, I had to do it before we move on. I had to just do it.
Okay, so what do you actually think is the best, and which do you actually think is the worst X-Men movie?
Honestly, that's tough. For me, I would probably say best. Best for sure is between 1 and 2. I want to lean more towards the second one just because I really like Wolverine, and like that's kind of a Wolverine movie in my mind.
That's fair.
But no, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go the first one. We get Sabretooth, we got Toad in there, we got that awesome storm scene at the end. What did she say? Like, what is a toad in a thunderstorm or something like that?
Yeah,
like,
what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning?
Yeah,
the same thing that happens to everything else.
Yeah, I loved that part. Like I said, I just thought, again, in hindsight, as you know, nostalgia hitting me, it was a good introduction to all these characters, you know, and like also the introduction with Storm and Cyclops when they save Rogue and Wolverine. That was super cool. Like, yeah, so I want to go first one.
I like that. Halle Berry's Storm, man, that is perfect.
Perfect. He was a great Storm.
I love that. Incredible. Carry on. Just had to get that wee bit in there.
So you going first one then too?
No, I'm going First Class.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, same.
Even with Darwin's death, I still like First Class the best, just because of, I think, a more in-depth look at Magneto that we got in that one as a young man. I think really sold it for me. Fassbender sold it. Like I said earlier, that scene I mentioned before, the him in Argentina when he's speaking German and just fucking up those Nazis. I could take a whole movie of just Magneto, Nazi hunter.
Is that the one with the quarter? Is that the one where he does the quarter thing?
Yeah, he does that in that one too, where he puts the quarter through Shaw's skull and takes his helmet back, and he also whips whips that knife blade around in the bar, just fucking up these old Nazis in Argentina.
Dude, yes. I gotta say, while like I said, I would say the first X-Men is probably like my personal favorite for, again, the nostalgia reasons and whatnot. I would say First Class is, I would say, unbiasedly the best film. You know, you get what I mean? Like, I would say.
What do y'all think is the worst?
Come on, bro.
Do
we even have to say that? Come on. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows. We don't need to dogpile it.
Phoenix films.
There.
I mean,
pick any film focusing on the Phoenix.
Yeah. I'm going Last Stand just because of Juggernaut. That was terrible.
Dude, Juggernaut. That was hilarious.
Oh man, no, it's 100% Last Stand for me.
Speaking of
Fair.
Juggernaut,
I think
Juggernaut in Deadpool 2 was amazing. They did that
that
shit
was really good.
so good. Yeah.
Do you think we'll get him back now that we have Hugh coming back?
Fingers crossed, dude. Because I love Juggernaut as a character. Like, as far as mutants go, he's probably one of my favorites. So I would love to see Juggernaut come back. And I mean, who perfect to fight him than Wolverine, right?
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
an
fair point.
interesting fight, yeah.
And plus, I'm pretty sure someone can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I want to say that Ryan Reynolds played Juggernaut in that movie. Like, he was the
Yeah.
mocap or the voice, one of the 3 or 2 that it is. So, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
Definitely not the size.
Yeah, definitely not. He's got to get on that Hugh Jackman workout for that, dude. That man is
Yep.
freaking ripped. But so moving on, so we talked about all these X-Men films, our Foxverse love and or hate. So how do we think this is going to go down? Like, so is Hugh coming in from the Foxverse? Is this going to be a completely different Wolverine that is somewhere out in the multiverse that just happens to look like Hugh? What do you guys think? What, you guys got any good speculation?
It's
Do you
him.
guys, yeah,
I don't think it's one that looks like him. I think it's him from the
from the
Foxverse.
Foxverse?
And I
Okay.
think they've said it's more of like a road trip kind of thing. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking it's kind of gonna be for lack of a better term, instead of Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, Deadpool kills the Foxverse, like we've all been hoping for.
Mhm.
And I think he's going to have Wolverine as his buddy. I'm thinking, if I were just to guess, for me, logically, in order to do this to pull him into MCU, since they're different timelines and universes, there needs to be an incursion where 2 timelines connect.
Mhm.
So in my mind, I see this as an incursion event. And in order for safety of the main
Ooh.
timeline,
Mm.
Deadpool has to clean up the mess and get rid of what can't blend and carry over.
I
So
like that.
why not grab your buddy with claws and
Mhm.
go clean up the mess?
I like that a lot
That
because
could
it.
also
Go ahead, Cap.
that could also be why John Krasinski was tweeting about the film as well.
Exactly. Yes. I was just about to say,
Encouraging.
I think that would be very smart also because we already have that concept set up for us in Multiverse of Madness. We learned that they had to destroy the, whatever version of Strange that was, they had to destroy that world because of the incursion. So the idea that a world has to die for once an incursion goes through is already set. So to have, like you said, Deadpool be that mechanism to kill that universe is just genius. And like we said, it goes with the comics as well. Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe is probably one of his more famous books out there. So yeah, I mean, we talked about this before. This film is obviously going to be fan service, and just having Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in it in itself is fan service. So it would make sense to me to go full out there and give us the story that everybody wants, right? What do you,
I feel like if it's true fan service in this, we're also going to get back Cable. We're going to get back Megasonic. We're going to get back Yukio. We're going to get back the whole gang. Bring the whole Deadpool cast with you for this that we've established.
Yeah,
right.
If we
and
don't,
let's keep that on.
If we don't, I would be very, very shocked. Very shocked. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe not every single person, but I would be like, we know Domino's coming back, right? She's confirmed for Deadpool 3, I'm pretty sure.
Think so,
Zazie?
and Dopinder has to be. I mean,
Yeah,
Dopinder
right. For sure.
Yeah,
But
you can't have a Deadpool film without Dopinder.
dude, yeah, he's the best. But yeah, I
And-
think, like you said, I think that most of those casts are definitely going to be coming over to 3. I would not be surprised to see what's his nuts show up. Colossus. I would
Yeah.
expect him to make a little quick cameo, not like a central character, but definitely a cameo.
Right.
I mean, this film, like I said, it's Deadpool, and like I don't want to use the word fan service necessarily, but like that's Deadpool shtick, man. Like, the cameos, the little Easter egg, the fourth wall, like that's his whole thing. And it's like there's no doubt in my mind that they're gonna use that as a way of explaining this whole, oh, this is how we're in the MCU now. That's the benefit, I think, of doing this with a movie like Deadpool, is you can, in this form, you can have Deadpool literally just come up and be like, hey, look, we're in the MCU now. No, don't worry about anything else. You know what I mean? Like, all that other stuff that happened, forget about it. Like, we're moving on. Like, he can literally tell that to us, and we can just be like, okay, let's go. So they're in a, I think, like we're talking about, how this is going to happen. It's really their ball game. They can really decide to do anything with a character like Deadpool. You can really make it however you want, really.
I think for all of us, this was a surprise announcement, which in hindsight, I don't think it should have been, given that
No.
like less than 30 days ago, we got that announcement that they'd been in the writing room working on their stuff. And Feige's come by and he's like, nope, it can still be Deadpool. Like, I do your thing. Like, cool. You guys are doing your things. You need snacks, water, condoms, right? He's not mom. Just like, cool. What do you guys need? Right? Like, do your thing. And I think that's super cool that from reports so far, Feige and the MCU have really just embraced letting Deadpool and their writers keep it Deadpool and their writers, right? I think that's imperative. What Deadpool did for comic book movies and MCU properties as a whole, with as hard as it goes and what it does, is nuts. And I think I think Feige's a smart enough man to know that in bringing Deadpool on, if he didn't let Deadpool stay the same, the fan backlash would be out of this world, and he wouldn't get another chance to fix it.
Yeah. Not only would the fan backlash be crazy, but I just don't think it would work as well. Like, I think he understands, like we were just talking about, like what you can use Deadpool for, and like the whole fourth wall break and stuff. And especially with the whole where we're at in the MCU with all this multiverse and timeline and stuff. To me, Deadpool's a perfect character to throw in there to kind of, center all this together. You get what I'm trying to say?
It saves Feige a lot of time too, looking for writers and directors and stuff. If Ryan's are going to do it all,
Well, he's got that.
Saves him a lot of time.
Ryan, Paul, and what's his name? Like there's like 3 or 4 of them over there with it, right? That all handle the Deadpool stuff. And let them keep doing their thing.
Yeah, like I said, let them go off, let them do their thing. And correct me if I'm wrong, Sean Levy, the director, he didn't do Deadpool 2, did he? Or did he?
Don't make me lie to you.
No, I'm genuinely asking, did he direct Deadpool 2 or?
Did he direct number 1?
No, that was Ayer, right?
I can't remember. I know there's 2 different directors from Deadpool 1 and 2.
Now I need to look this up because it's gonna bother me.
I do know that T.J. Miller was a writer on 1, but wasn't for 2.
Tim Miller.
Something about
Tim Miller was the director for Deadpool 1. I don't know why.
Yeah, there you go.
David Ayer.
Yeah, it was creative differences in the writing room for 2.
And then 2 was David Leitch. So yeah, Sean Levy didn't do either of them, but he's doing 3. So that's interesting, I think.
I like Sean Levy.
Dude,
I really like him. Did you guys watch Adam Project?
Yeah, that was good.
Dude, really, really good. Yeah, him and Reynolds have like kind of a deal going on, it seems like. He's been in all of his recent films.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned Krasinski tweeting out about it, right? Like, could we maybe get his read? Maybe if they do it incursion style, but also he and Ryan are working on a different movie together currently. That's how he was like, wait, is this our movie? No, you guys have a different thing you're doing, right? We're all very well aware.
Yeah, I think it was
feels too on the nose that it's too much of a coincidence.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was definitely a tongue-in-cheek thing, but at the same time, like Cap's saying, it is a pretty nice coincidence that they are working on a movie right when all this is going on.
Let me ask you guys this. Who's one character from the Foxverse who you think will get back? And do you think Deadpool will kill them? And who's a character who you'd like to see, who you are like, there's 100% chance, 0 way we're going to get them back in this movie?
So wait, so one that I want to be back and then one that I don't think will come back?
Yeah, and the character that you think will come back, do you think Deadpool's going to kill him or not?
Okay, so for one that's gonna come back, I'm gonna go back to my other answer. I'm gonna say Colossus, and I'm gonna say no. I think Colossus is gonna make it because one, how are you gonna kill Colossus, right? But one that I don't want to come back, I don't want to say don't want to come back, but I don't know. I just think this would be funny. I would say Evan Peters as Quicksilver, just because it's like I think it would be funny to one, what he would be dead in the Fox verse and the MCU verse, like Quicksilver as a character, and like with the whole Ralph Boner situation, it's like just go all out with it. And they already psyched us out with Ralph Boner, so psych us out again and just be like, oh yeah, Quicksilver, blah blah blah, and then Deadpool just ganks him. I think that'd be funny.
I agree. What
Yeah.
about you, Cap?
One character that I think will come back is Dopinder. Do I think Deadpool will kill him? No. One character I would like to come back, or what was the other question?
One character, the character who you don't think is going to come back.
I don't think Magneto will come back. Not in this film. I
Yeah.
don't think they'll bring Fassbender back just yet, anyway.
That's fair.
Yeah, I
That's
think
fair.
I agree with you there.
That's fair.
I'd love for him to come back, but I can't see it happen. What about you, Gorgon?
I guess if I have to make predictions on this, it's a hard one. I want to say Beast seems, in my opinion, a very plausible mutant to bring back into the fold. If it is an incursion, a multiple timeline thing, right? Scientists make sense to appear. He is the mutant scientist, right? One of them. I think Deadpool will kill him, probably, to make room for a new actor to take over in the MCU.
I was just about to
Absolutely.
say, I don't want to talk bad about anybody or like anybody's performances, but personally, I was not a fan of the Beast from like the First Class, like although the guy who plays Beast. I don't know,
Young
like I
Beast.
said, not my cup of tea. Like I wouldn't say he was bad, but just didn't feel like Beast to me.
I don't think
I
he
like
met
them in
the
the original.
expectations from the first actor.
Yeah.
I think the second set of actors had a really hard time trying to meet the expectations of the first older cast by being
Yeah.
the younger ones.
Yeah, totally agree.
And with that in mind, a character who I don't think will come back, Storm. Per the
Ooh.
caveat, Storm is very important to mutants,
Mhm.
particularly as an option for everything going on in Wakanda for the future. And with her being the region of Morocco right now and all that
Mhm.
stuff, right? Storm is too important, I think, for them to
Yeah.
bring back just to get ganked.
No, yeah, definitely
or
not.
not ganked. I think they'll save Storm until they do something big with mutants in the MCU.
Absolutely. Storm is gonna, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we got a Storm solo, like to kind of kick the mutantdom off, you know what I mean? And I'm still fingers crossed. I wouldn't put my money on it if I were in Vegas, but I really, really hope that we get at least a mention or an Easter egg of Storm somewhere in Wakanda Forever. I think that would just be I think that'd be so cool. Like I said, I don't think she'll show up, especially since we got Namor going on, we got all the Atlanteans and Wakandans, like that whole. There's a lot of stuff going on in this movie.
Riri Williams.
Exactly. So I don't think like she'll herself be there, but I just want a little nod, a little Easter egg.
So here's a question. Another one for you guys then, while I'm on a question spree.
Yeah, hit me.
With Hugh Jackman coming back, he's what started this whole discussion today, right? If we're right, and it is Deadpool kills them all, right? And Hugh's not going to be the Wolverine going forward for the MCU. Do you think he survives the movie at the end and is left in the universe he's in, or do you think old buddy Wade does him a solid and ends him before Bryan Singer ever gets a chance to lay his fingers on an X-Men script again?
Honestly, that would be hilarious. I feel like, in my opinion, I think it could go two ways. The way you just said, he gets him off, kills him before Bryan Singer ever gets the chance to even touch him. Or I could see, like, I don't know, I think it would be also kind of funny. Like we see in Logan that, like Logan's a perfect end for, Wolverine, but we see that like his life is pretty shitty in Logan, you know, like all that stuff happened with the mutants. He's dealing with, you know, Professor X, whose health is declining. Like his life is not going too well. So I don't know. I think it'd be kind of funny if after the events of, you know, Deadpool 3, Deadpool's like, yeah, so now I'm going to have to drop you off and you're going to have to, you know, deal with all this crap as an old man, but have fun, you know, it's going to be a good time. And I don't know. I think that'd be kind of funny. And then drops him off in 2029 as an old man. And then, like you said, Logan stays intact. And then we have Logan.
Well, pointy sharp claws, it's been fun, but I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to leave you here,
Yeah.
right? I hear Karma's a bitch, and she's
Yeah.
a mutant, and you didn't live a very good life, so have fun in hell for the
Yeah.
next 2 years of your life. What?
Exactly. Yeah.
Bye.
I don't actually think it'll be an encouraging. I don't know if it'll be an encouraging film. I think it might be like I think they might work it that Logan has been established, not necessarily been established in the MCU, but he's been around for years.
Mm.
It just hasn't been clarified that he's a mutant, so nobody knows, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Deadpool goes looking for other mutants in the MCU universe, comes across this Wolverine, he's like, "Oh, hey, I know you,"
Mm-hmm.
and then they're like, "Nah," you know.
Yeah.
I have to give you a minor She-Hulk spoiler.
Shit.
A minor one. There's someone in the most recent episode who confirms government experiment gone wrong.
Oh,
Yes.
Right. I for what happened for their body.
Mhm.
So and they're a minor
Yeah,
character,
minor.
right? It's not a huge
I
deal
wouldn't even say
about
that's a
who they
spoiler,
are.
really.
But what it implies for the future of the MCU is much bigger, particularly with Jessica Jones and Daredevil coming in, with us potentially getting Luke Cage back and Luke Cage's story being all about government experiments, right?
Mhm.
How Hellcat was created through in the current MCU with Jessica Jones coming, right, through those inhalers that were part of a government shield program or shield adjacent program, right?
Mhm.
It's very much a possibility that nobody's known mutants are in the MCU except Fury and Shield, because of course Fury knows
Mhm.
fucking everything. Everything with him is a need to know basis, and he could just decide nobody needs to know.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. And I know like these are two different realms, but I think in the MCU they could easily connect with each other. But we already know from Isaiah Bradley and, you know, also with the leader and all the stuff going on with the Hulk that there are factions of people out there already doing experiments like this. Again, I know like super soldiers and mutants, that's two completely different things, but I could see those two paths crossing in our MCU. And like they could easily say that the people that were, you know, trying to, you know, working on Isaiah were also doing mutant experiments, or, you know, vice versa, you know, whatever. I think that those two things definitely could intersect.
interesting. I'm gonna have to watch the She-Hulk episode.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't even say that's a spoiler. They don't even like really harp on it at all. It's kind of just said in passing.
it's
But like
very
Gorgon
quickly
said,
glanced over, but
yeah.
yeah, it's what it establishes, although small in the moment, is
Mhm.
big for the future implication
Yeah,
wise.
it is like you said, it
Like,
establishes there are people out there making mutants, more or less. I mean, I guess they're not called mutants, but there's people out there doing these experiments, making these powered people. You know what I mean? So, like you said, that's huge. I think.
it's like that. Is it episode 4 or is it episode 3 or something of She-Hulk where they reference in the newspaper man with claws and bar fight?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, it could be that one that Deadpool finds. He's like, "You're not the Logan I know." Cuts his
Yeah.
head off or something. You know, stores it in a box.
That would be honestly, that would be great if they bring that back, like that little Easter egg from She-Hulk. If in Deadpool 3 they kind of, whether that was him or not, like if they refer to that, I think that would be really cool.
I'd like them to use it at the end of the movie. I just decided. Deadpool's now in the MCU, and that same newspaper from She-Hulk blows up on him, and he reads it, and he's like, "Ooh, now I gotta go find my new pointy fingered friend." Yeah, and then it's like, wait a minute, is Deadpool gonna be the person who finds the mutants for us in the MCU?
I see what you done there. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, so I'm excited, dudes. I mean, I think this is going to be great. We're talking about all this, how it's going to happen, what's going to happen. But in all honesty, I really think the answer to all these is going to be, I don't want to say underwhelming, but kind of like in No Way Home. Like we were all like, oh my God, how did they get there? How is that possible? Blah, blah. And then in the movie, it's just kind of like, yeah, they're from their own universe and they came over. Like simple, done. And I think it'll probably be very similar kind of thing. Like everyone's going to have these crazy theories of, oh, what universe, from what timeline is this coming in? And I think the actual answer will be a lot more simple than we're thinking. But either way, I mean, I can't wait. We're getting Hugh Jackman, dudes. Hugh Jackman is coming back as Wolverine. How can you not be pumped for that? All that other stuff, whatever. I don't care. I just want to see my man's back with the claws, and I want to see the yellow suit. Give me the yellow suit. Yellow, blue, yellow, brown. I don't care. One of them, one of the two. Give it to me.
Yep.
I don't think we're actually going to get it.
Shut your mouth, Gorgon.
I know. I know. I want us to get it. I just don't think we will. I think Feige knows how bad we want it, and I think that might just be his reason to not give it to us just yet. Wait until it's their property 100%. We have the Mutants project.
I just want to
might even keep it for Laura.
Why not both? Why do we have to pick and choose? Why are you doing this to me, Gorgon? Why do I have to choose? Give me both. I want both.
I know. I'm the hater.
I mean, it's like he's played Wolverine for so long. Like
so long.
Decades at this point.
So long.
Not once have we seen the yellow suit, not even a helmet. Not even a freaking helmet. We saw it in the case. Yes, I know, in the case. I'm on his head. I want to see it on that beautiful body of his. Like, come on. Feige, please.
That's fair.
Give us the yellow suit, please.
Yeah, I want to hear Deadpool making jokes about how he should be shorter. I think I'm here for that.
Yeah. Oh, we're definitely getting a short joke. There's no way. We gotta.
Yeah.
Well, we need ugly jokes in there too.
Oh, yeah. So many jokes.
He's supposed to look rougher.
Yeah, and that's like kind of I don't know if you guys saw that tweet that I had that kind of blew up last night, but I was like, oh, so when Wolverine makes jokes with Deadpool, are you guys going to cry about that too? And it was so funny because like my point was that Wolverine is going to be in a Deadpool movie. So of course it's going to be funny. Like, of course there's going to be jokes and stuff. But you had, it was so funny. So many people in the comments were like, of course, that's what a comedy is. There's a straight man and a funny guy. Like, why do you have to make everything political? Blah, blah, blah. And it was just so funny. What's
political about comedy?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, of course there's going to be jokes. Like, it's a Deadpool movie. Like, that's the whole point.
If you're listening or watching this out there and you're the belief that he shouldn't make jokes, I highly encourage you to go back and watch the entire X-Men series, because all he does is bust their balls 25/8.
Dude, he calls Professor X wheels. Like, come on.
He makes a joke about the suits when he points the claws through them, and he's like, what would you prefer, yellow spandex, right? Scott Summers makes that to him. The constant jokes of him flipping them off with the middle claw.
Yeah.
He is humor.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it was just hilarious to me. All the people were like, no, you don't understand.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I'm excited for it, man. This is gonna be awesome. This is probably shot up to one of my more anticipated ones. While I'm usually like, for No Way Home, for example, like I was definitely excited for it, but like I tend to be more excited for the newer kind of stuff, if that makes sense. Like obviously I'm super excited because it's Hugh Jackman and Wolverine, or Deadpool and Wolverine, but sometimes like stuff like Eternals that's like completely new is more exciting to me. But I mean, this, I can't deny, this is shot right up there to probably like number 1-2 spot for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely sitting at number 1 for me at the minute.
Yeah, number 1 above Cap New World Order. Oh, I just caught him there.
Blade.
Yes,
Joint
agreed.
first. Sitting there, joint first.
I gotta say, Blade is probably my number one, despite that we just lost the director again. I feel like I don't think Feige wants to fumble the bag with an incredible casting like Mahershala Ali, right?
Oh,
For being Blade. So I definitely think getting that fixed quickly is probably a priority right now,
Mhm.
particularly given they were supposed to start filming in July. Right?
Yeah.
They're behind schedule, and Feige doesn't like being behind schedule. So I'm very much here for seeing where it goes. I think Blade is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most right now.
Hell yeah, let's go. Well, like I said, guys, I'm super excited about this. And do you guys have anything else about Deadpool Wolverine before we get out of here?
Nope.
Nope.
Or any last words?
Okay, so if they were trying to shove their claws versus swords up each other's assholes, who do you think is going to heal the fastest? I'm just kidding, guys.
Okay,
It's
definitely
obviously
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely Deadpool. Well,
he's already sat on it. He's tried.
With that great nugget of knowledge, we're gonna leave you guys here. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Please let us know in the comments what you guys think is going to happen in Deadpool 3, how this is all going to go down. Make sure to leave us a like and subscribe.
Yep. It's been wonderful, guys.
All
Thank you very
right,
much.
everybody. Stay hydrated. May those stacks be fat, and we'll see you guys all next time.
Later.
I can do this all day.